Hey, what's up guys? John the Morgal here, checking in for a video for you. Hope you enjoy it. This time we're going to just sort of talk about viruses in general. Because there's a lot of what I would deem bad information, misinformation, disinformation going around about this whole situation. And I'm not going to say certain keywords in this talk. Don't want to get banned from social media any further than I'm already banned and censored, right? Here's Lily. Hold on, let's see if you can see her. Hey, Lily, say hi. Anyway, trying to get the light while the sun's still there. Nice sunset today, though, isn't it? Back at the basketball court. Hope y'all saw that, too. So, anyway, so what have we been taught about viruses in general? What is being spread in terms of misinformation about viruses? And then what is going on with this situation, right? A couple things we'll cover real quick. So first of all, I guess I'll sort of just explain what I understood about viruses, because there's a lot of... Hang on, Lily, you ain't going nowhere just yet. There's a lot of social media information going around that viruses don't exist, there's not even any such thing as viruses, and nobody can really explain what a virus is. So what I was always sort of taught about viruses is that they are sort of little infectious critters that live inside of us, and they spread. They spread and hurt our bodies, right? And the reason that viruses such as the common cold are so difficult to deal with is once your body becomes immune to that virus, you know, that particular strain of virus will no longer hurt you. However, viruses themselves are said to have sort of their own immune systems, right? And so basically, from what I remember, the protein coating of the cell walls will change through like a form of, I guess you could say, viral evolution, if for lack of a better phrase. And so if you have immunities to a virus, all the virus must do is sort of change that protein coating on the cell wall so that your immune system doesn't know how to deal with it, and thus the next infection. I also remember learning about viruses like rabies, which I believe is a real thing for sure. Hantavirus, which is also very deadly and I believe very real. Of course, rabies is spread by animals that carry the disease and then bite you, then you've got it, from what I've been told. Hantavirus is generally carried by like certain types of field mice, and it comes out in their poops. So there's one. And, you know, so moving on to sort of the second part, there's a lot of people out there saying that, you know, there is no such thing as viruses. Viruses don't exist. However, you know, I would say, and there's also claims that, like, you know, the images that we have of viruses are similar to the images that we have of, you know, planets in space and such, CGI, right? However, I would mention that we actually do have images of viruses under not regular microscopes, but electron microscopes, where you can clearly see these are not any sort of CGI composites or animations. These are real images scanned by electron microscopes. And as a matter of fact, if you do a YouTube search for electron microscope images of real viruses, you'll find a video from about a year ago that shows you images from such microscopes of viruses. And in fact, one of the viruses that they had images of was the Cerveza virus, you know, the one with Lyme, right? And so that was from a year ago. So again, this just sort of hammers home the point that Cerveza virus, the one with Lyme, is not a new thing. And in fact, one of the claims that was made about this particular thing that's going around or whatever is that one of the reasons that it's so dangerous is because, you know, we don't know how to deal with it. We don't have vaccines for it. Now, here's the thing. Again, coronavirus, I just said it. I guess they're going to ban me even more than they've already banned me. But that thing is, it's the common cold. It always has been. The common cold is that. And it's what it's always been, right? And so the whole thing about the common cold that makes it sort of keep coming back all the time, to where you have to keep building your immunities to whatever version that common cold is, the protein coating of the cell wall. The reason that it's so dangerous is because it's new to your immune system. So this whole claim that COVID-19 is somehow different than any other common cold because of whatever reason, I don't know, it's just not adding up. And so, that kind of gives you an idea of what I was led to believe through science about viruses in general, and what, some of the things that I know about viruses in general, juxtaposed or, sort of contrasted against what some of the so-called truthers in social media are saying about viruses in general, such as they don't even exist, it's not even a thing. But I think sort of the main thing that I want to talk about is the death tally, right? Like the number of cases, the number of deaths of this thing. And that appears to be almost entirely fabricated whole cloth by the mainstream media in conjunction with the CDC. And I'll tell you why. And it's pretty easy to explain. But the main thing is, let's say, and this is not just in the United States, this is all over the place. Let's say that you have a patient that's 80 years old that has at least 3 very serious conditions or illnesses. So let's say they've got chronic heart disease, kidney disease, and liver disease, and they get hospitalized, right? And then they die. Well, since we have this scamdemic going on, even if they're never tested for coronavirus, if the person signing the death certificate believes or presumes or assumes that they may have had coronavirus, that's good enough to put it on the death certificate as the cause of death, again, even if they've never been tested. Furthermore, those similar situations that have been tested and come back positive, those will also go on their death certificate as the cause of death being coronavirus, or at least a contributing cause, right? However, the thing is there's no sort of evidence that coronavirus had any sort of contributing factor or causality in their death at all, yet that's being tallied as a death, okay? And it's not just me saying this, it's on the CDC's own website that their numbers are derived by confirmed cases as well as presumptive cases, which means exactly that. What I just sort of, and sorry, butt mutt's dragging me down the road here, that's why I keep having to turn. But, so what about it, man? Like, I don't know. A lot of people have asked me to talk about this, but I generally try to stay away from talking about medical stuff, except for in very much generalities, right? Because, I guess I can take these sunglasses off, hang on. Because, well, they will shut you down for giving out, so-called medical advice, so I steer away from that. But just sort of my 2 cents on this whole thing, I think it's a nothing burger. I'm not really worried about it because clearly the media is lying about it. Clearly the CDC has some sort of a incentive to do this. And, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised when you look at the stimulus package that they're proposing. It's basically, in my view, it's just yet another bailout for the Federal Reserve System that's got to go. It's in its death throes. But they're just juicing the last little bit of value that they can out of this country before they entirely get rid of the dollar. So, not that I have any dollars, but if I did, I would get rid of them. I would, invest them in something of tangible, intrinsic value. But that's just me, and it's all very much hypothetical anyways. So I think that does it, 10 minutes or less. Thanks so much for watching. Love you guys, and see you in the next one. Bye.